Welcome back to the Attic Hour podcast, episode 23. Today is Seth Pfister and myself, Hudson Gerber, and we are joined once again by Brett Dreyer and Jamin Roush. This is the Conspiracy Theory Part 2 episode. Yep. So this one, the last one was a little bit more wild, a little bit more out there theories. This one is more based, more theories that, like we believe, I guess. And so, yeah. You guys have anything?
Excited to be back. Have some interesting conversations about some strange things.
Ooh.
Yes, sir.
Strange things. And with that, did you guys know that Atlantis is real?
No way.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm actually like, I'm a diehard. I'll die on this hill. Atlantis is real. Hey, Bert, look up the Rakat structure in the Sahara Desert.
It's a spelling quiz.
The Rakat structure in the Sahara Desert.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this.
Okay, so Atlantis, what we know about Atlantis is the only time in history that it's written about or like talked about, or the first time, I guess, is Plato. Plato wrote about it in one of his, I'm not sure what the book was, honestly, but the book was like essentially like a history of the world. Pretty much everything in it is believed to have been like factual, or like it was a like history book. But then randomly in the middle of it, there was a story about Atlantis. So Atlantis, according to Plato, was a civilization 9,000 years before Plato wrote that. I think he wrote it in like 300 BC. But So yeah, Atlantis was like 9,000 years before that, and Plato said that it was a island, or not necessarily an island, or it was an island, but it was like a ring of land, and then like a ring of water inside of that, and then a ring of land, so think of like a target or something, like as a circle of land, circle of water, circle of land, circle of water,
concentric,
and then
alternating circles.
And then the center. Exactly. The center is just solid land, and that's like the city. And this was like a very powerful land. They had a lot of gold. It was very well-to-do. But then there was something with, I think he talked about, I think like Poseidon. So like I think that's the Greek god of water.
I'll just know it's like the trident thing or something.
I'm pretty sure he's the Greek god of water. He was the one who like created this, and then he gave it to like his kids. I think he had like 3 kids or something. I'm kind of fuzzy with the details, but essentially they had like a war, and Atlantis ended up getting wiped out by Poseidon through like a big wave. Like it just vanished under the waves. And so yeah, my theory is that was all real. I believe that the Rakat structure in the Sahara Desert is the modern day location of Atlantis. As you can see on the screen, it perfectly fits like the rings, like it has like the rings like that. And
do a zoomed out picture. I think it's like located on a river too, or on a old river or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's in the middle of the Sahara Desert, but there have been like seashells and things found in that area, and so we know that there was water there at one point. Also, the leading export of that region is gold. Interesting. So yeah, my theory is that this was a pre-flood civilization, and the wave that wiped it out was none other than the flood itself. I believe that Atlantis had gotten to the point where it was like so evil of a civilization, just like the rest of the world, that God judged it and sent a giant wave or a flood to wipe it out. Personally, I believe that many of the Greek gods were like based in reality, or based on like real people, likely many of them pre-flood. Yeah. And so like I think that there is. Obviously, there's been exaggeration, but I think that the story is based in truth, and I think that Atlantis was real.
So do you think they terraformed that, or do you think that was a naturally occurring structure and they built their city on top?
Yeah, I mean, that I have no idea. There's no way to know that. Yeah, no clue at all.
Does it say in the Greek books?
I don't remember.
Probably look it up.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, Bert, you could look that up. I know Plato was like a secondary account. So like Plato heard the story of Atlantis from a old Egyptian priest who told the story.
Which would make sense if it's in Africa. I mean, it's just straight over
Right,
from
right.
Egypt.
Well, I think that one of the children who was like in charge, one of Poseidon's kids who was like in charge of Atlantis, the other one was like in charge of Egypt, and they had like a war or something, or something like that.
How would
I honestly forget.
How would that story get started though? If there was a flood that wiped out the whole
That's
world?
what I'm wondering. How did they know everything about Atlantis?
Well,
Or what
maybe
they know?
it was just so famous that like Noah and them passed it down or like knew about it.
Yeah.
Could be.
So you know how we were talking about earlier how some of us might not believe that the pyramids were actually built by Egyptians.
Right.
What if they built them?
Right. No, that there is, yeah. Some people do believe that.
They do. Okay.
Wouldn't they have to survive that? I mean, if you believe in the flood, wouldn't they have to survive the flood?
That's what some of us were talking about, and I would say they.
Yeah,
Probably did.
I don't know if the pyramids survived the flood. I don't know where I stand on that, but I know that Atlantis was a pre-flood civilization.
Hmm.
I mean, and it makes sense too. If like a area is like so evil that God just judges it for the remainder of history by putting it in the hottest place on Earth, or in the most desolate place where it can never be inhabited again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was just really interesting.
So Atlantis wasn't ever actually underwater as a civilization. It was just its own civilization, got washed out by water, and then it was underwater, and then it dried up, basically. Because I thought,
Right. I mean, the reason that everybody like says that it's like underwater is because like Plato said that it was wiped out by a giant wave and like under the waters. Like waters destroyed the city.
gotcha.
Because I always thought like
Sounds like the flood to me.
the idea of Atlantis was it's like the sunken city at the bottom of the sea. So it's like,
Right. Yeah, I mean that's people just get that from. Or I mean, I think Disney made a movie about Atlantis.
I think there is. Look up Disney. movie on
There are
Atlantis.
definitely a lot of myths and a lot of exaggerations about this.
So where did the name come from? Do we know?
Well, another thing that is interesting is people think that the Atlantic Ocean was named after Atlantis.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is Atlantic and Atlantis
Yeah.
sound pretty similar?
Okay, there was a movie Atlantis.
Yeah, I've actually never seen the movie, but like, all right,
All right.
chill,
then,
chill,
Miles.
chill, chill.
Don't lose your streak there.
That's crazy. But yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah. So how did you do it in the last one? Did you just go around then and say your thoughts, or?
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I kind of presented my beliefs about it. I'm a little fuzzy on all the details. I had to listen to like some podcasts.
So then, like the whole trident thing and like the mermaids and everything, that would have no correlation to Atlantis.
Mermaids.
Weren't mermaids like a whole big part of that, or was that something different? I thought mermaids had a big connection to Atlantis, or no?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Maybe not. Okay, maybe I'll think of something different.
Maybe in the movie.
I think that's a Little Mermaid.
No. Like I thought there was mermaids that like ruled the world, or was that what were the creatures that in like the mythology that ruled Atlantis?
I mean, mermaids are from like mythology. But
Right.
Sirens. Is that what they call it? The ones that.
like was
Oh,
it
the ones that like deceive people.
The ones
Yeah.
that like sing
So-
that like Odysseus tied himself up or whatever. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if mermaids are real or not.
I don't
I know some people believe that.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I believe mermaids are real. I'm wondering if the mythology is that mermaids ruled Atlantis, or if it was just humans.
No, it's humans.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, realistically, yes, but I'm just saying, like in the books.
yeah, I know. Plato did not mention mermaids.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a human civilization.
Right.
That eventually it was extremely powerful, extremely wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually got so corrupt that Poseidon wiped it out by water,
Gotcha.
according to Plato.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that would be fun to kickstart us. So I don't know. Give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 believability.
I'd say it's like a solid. I guess it depends on the light of the worldview. I think you can kind of view it in a Christian worldview, and if you're viewing it on like millions of years, and like depending on the worldview, if from a Christian worldview, I'd say it's like a 4. Almost it feels higher if it was a Christian worldview. I don't know. Yeah, I would say under 5.
Sure.
Probably under 5.
So you said Plato said that civilization was destroyed 9,000 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
So how old is the Earth? Do you believe? 'Cause
I believe? I mean,
Yeah.
I personally believe the Earth is around like 7,000 years old.
Okay. So then if it was 9,000 years.
I mean, that's what Plato's saying. He heard that
Right.
from a monk. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was going off of like Seth's like whole like if Christians if the Bible says the Bible doesn't really say how old the Earth is, but if we're going off Bible stuff, I'd probably give it. I'd give it a 6. 6 out of 10. I think.
6 out of 10.
For some of the things, not everything.
Sure.
I'd say for a lot of things, you could rank it pretty high. But
Yeah.
then for some things, it's like, well, I don't agree with that at all. Like
Right.
the 9,000. Or
Yeah, dude, the satellite imagery of the Rakot structure is just crazy to me.
Mhm.
Like, that's very clearly used to be something.
what's weird is how well it matches what Plato describes.
I know, exactly.
It matches
and like
so close.
nobody knew about that. Everybody just wrote it off as a myth until we had satellites and were able to find that. We were just like, wait, hold on. That's literally what Plato was talking about.
That's crazy.
So due to that, I think there's probably like an 80% chance that Atlantis existed there of some way, shape, or form. But I would say a lot of the things told about Atlantis I wouldn't necessarily believe.
Sure.
Probably more like a 2 on those.
Yeah, that's fair. I thought that would be a fun discussion to start us off, but really the bulk of this episode is going to be more modern day conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we can transition to that. Hey Bert, could you look up the official story on the JFK assassination? Seth, you can read this off for us. This is the official story is obviously what we were all taught in school, what the history books say. And after we read the official story, then we will give our own opinions and thoughts and theories.
Do one of the top links, probably. Do one from his political advisors were preparing for the next presidential campaign. Although he had not formally announced his candidacy, it was clear that President Kennedy was going to run, and he seemed confident about his chances for re-election. At the end of September, the president traveled west, speaking in 9 different states in less than a week. The trip was meant to put a spotlight on the natural resources and conservation efforts, but JFK also used it to sound out themes such as education, national security, and world peace for his run in 1964. I don't know how much time we have. Yeah.
the assassination.
Crowds of excited people lined the streets and waved to the Kennedys. The car turned off Main Street at Dealey Plaza around 12:30 p.m. As it was passing the Texas School Book Depository, a gunfire suddenly reverberated in the plaza. Bullets.
Oh, it says
plural,
bullets.
What?
That's interesting.
struck the president's neck and head, and he slipped over towards Mrs. Kennedy. The governor was shot in the back. The car sped off at Parkland Memorial Hospital just a few minutes away, but little could be done for the president. A Catholic priest was summoned to administer the last rites, and at 1 p.m. John F. Kennedy was pronounced dead, though seriously wounded Governor Connelly would recover. The president's body was brought to Lee Field, placed on Air Force One.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in on the plane.
I mean, yeah, that's the gist of it. But yeah, that's the story we've been told. And we've been told that Lee Harvey Oswald was the killer. And that he was like they say he's a psychopath, right? And he just like was crazy and just shot him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Jamin, what's your thoughts on all this? Do you agree with the narrative?
Not to an extent. I think there was a lot of weird stuff that happened around there. Kind of similar to like modern day Kirk assassination. I think the modern day theory is that someone else bigger that had a different narrative didn't like what they were going against as far as who was running America. So whether or not that was Israel or some other big elite group or whatever, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot on what the theory is on how, like, who it would have been and how it would have happened.
Well, that's the thing. There's not just
There's not a
one
way to-
theory.
there's
There's
not a
not
way
just
to really
one
figure
theory.
it
Like
out.
there are so many different
Yeah.
theories out there. and
Because it happened
opinions.
so long ago, you can't really, like, you don't have as much cameras and technology to be able to figure out what all happened around there.
Right. I do think it's safe to say though that the official story that like we've been taught in schools
Yeah.
is not true, and I think the majority population agrees with that.
Mhm.
Especially like wasn't like the JFK documents like released like a year ago or
Yeah.
something,
Right.
and like I mean that essentially says that as much like just what we were told was not true at
Mhm.
all, and so what is true,
Right.
And-
And who would have been at fault for that? Who
and nobody really knows.
pushed out that false narrative?
Right. What was Lee Harvey Oswald just a scapegoat, or was he like put up to the task?
Mhm.
Did he willingly do it? Yeah, it's very interesting.
That is very interesting.
It's also interesting that the official thing says that there were shots.
Yeah, I thought it was a one bullet theory here.
It said neck and did it say head? Was that?
Yeah, I thought that was just like a theory. I didn't think it surprised me that they admitted that.
Into Wikipedia, yeah. So I wonder if you Google that, how many times he was shot, what Google would say, or
Yeah,
AI, I guess.
Yeah, Google that, Bert. Because that's definitely a pretty common theory is that there were
Mhm.
two shooters.
Right. And if that is the most common theory, that would make sense why it's on Wikipedia, because most people believe it.
Okay,
Shot twice.
John F. Kennedy was shot
Mm.
twice.
I wonder if that changed since they just released everything.
Upper back and head. I thought he was shot in the throat at the same time.
I think it was like the spine. They were crazy shots.
Right, but I thought they were coming from like two different directions.
So was it from the same shooter, or were there two shooters?
Right, that's the cause of much debate.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was from two directions, that would be too sloppy to frame on one person.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's the thing.
entry and exit wounds are like
What-
very recognizable.
There was no autopsy done on the body.
Really?
There
That's
was-
that's factual.
Actually,
Fact-
Look it up.
Factual?
Look it up. There was no autopsy done on JFK's body.
I
So- Oh, go ahead.
saw that AI said one bullet from a shooter completely missed the limousine and the other one hit him in the back or neck to the head somewhere. That was what AI
Wait,
said
what?
earlier. Yeah, if on his last AI thread, that's what Google said.
Okay, according
Gosh.
to AI, there was an official autopsy done. However, the procedure was widely considered to be botched by many historians and medical experts due to several significant errors and unusual circumstances.
That is odd.
For some reason, I was thinking there was not one. Okay.
Well, there wasn't one for Charlie.
Oh, maybe that's
So maybe
what
you
it
got
was.
them flip-flopped.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. But I think his funeral was obviously closed casket. I think very few people actually saw it. And so
I mean, it pretty much lopped his head off, didn't it?
right.
Well, there was a
Yeah.
video that was released not too
No,
long ago.
I mean, not. It wasn't. I mean, we watched it in elementary school, so it's been out for a little bit.
Oh, it's been out. Well, I thought there
Oh,
was
that-
like an
that
angle
was
that was.
that
dramatic.
video was out, dude. Yeah.
No,
that
but wasn't there one
blood
that was just
spewing
released
everywhere.
like a year ago,
Terrible.
like a different angle or something?
Nah, we don't need to watch this.
No, we
Yeah,
don't.
I do not want
We
to.
don't want to watch it.
No,
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 no.
what-
I'm just asking if there was a different angle, and that confirms some different things. I thought there was.
Oh.
I saw a post and it was like new angle released with files, but that might be wrong. I don't know.
That could be an AI thing.
Do you
too.
That
guys
could
know?
be.
Do you guys know anything about like the MK Ultra program?
Isn't that like an elite?
It's a CIA.
Well, it was a CIA operation or like a CIA program from the 1950s to the 1970s. They were essentially trying to do mind control. Think Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
They would use like psychedelic drugs, a lot of LSD, on sometimes like unwilling participants to experiment on them and try to achieve mind control. But there are
That program.
that what I just
don't wanna
told you
spoil.
is 100% factual.
No. But I don't want to spoil where you're going with this.
Oh, but I mean, there are theories stemming off of that. Like, why would you keep it up for 20 years if you did not achieve any level of success? So some people think that maybe it was successful, and some people think maybe that was maybe like what happened here. Because something that is interesting is the CIA director at the time, Alan Dulles, who was in charge of the MK Ultra program. He was eventually fired by John F. Kennedy, or like let go by John F. Kennedy as CIA director.
I think so.
And so he did not like JFK. The reason was he was the person who took the fault in the Bay of Pigs fiasco. However, he was also the person who headed up the Warren Commission, which was the investigation on JFK's assassination. Who was his enemy? And we already know this guy's sketchy because he did the MK Ultra program. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but that's something that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So if MK Ultra came up with the perfect assassin where you don't remember any of it.
Right. I mean, the theory of it is that you can utter like some code words. I mean, just like Winter Soldier, and like activate a sleeper agent that you had like tested on years ago or something. So like Lee Harvey Oswald could be just a normal dude just walking around, and then he receives like this command or something that like activates a part of his brain that was asleep, and all of a sudden he's like a robot. He's like a zombie, and he performs like what they tell him to do, and then they say the thing again. What he just did gets erased, and like he's back to normal, and he has no idea what he just did.
So that makes more sense than he was someone who strongly politically disagreed with him and was slightly off and was an American and had access to guns and decided to try to take a shot at him.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's it. I'm not saying I endorse that theory. I'm saying that's the MK Ultra theory with this. I personally don't really believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was MK Ultra, but
wasn't the Unabomber MK Ultra?
Unabomber was MK Ultra.
That's what I thought you were going with that.
But I think Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination was MK Ultra. That's another theory. But yeah, JFK, I honestly do not know what happened.
Yeah. So as far as we know, MK Ultra is no longer.
As far as we know.
Okay.
It was done in the 70s.
Yeah, gotcha. And we don't know for sure if it actually worked. Like we weren't able.
We don't know if it was successful. Though, yeah, like the Unabomber, that's factual. That's a part of history.
Would you mind filling in our listeners about what that is, or do we want to?
The Unabomber? Yeah, sure.
Ignore that.
I mean, I don't know a bunch about him. Wasn't he the dude that mailed bombs to people? Was that the same guy? Or he just blew things up and he wrote a lot of manifestos and lived out in the woods and.
Yeah, I mean, he blew things up. I always think of like a parking lot. Yeah, Ted Kazowski. Kikowski? I don't know. Let's see what he did.
On university professors, computer store owners, and advertising. I can't read that. It's too far down.
He was a domestic terrorist who conducted a 17-year campaign from the 78 to 95. He mailed or placed 16 homemade bombs, primarily targeting people in the airline and university industries. His attacks killed 3 different people and injured 24 others. Driven by anti-technology, he published a 35,000-word manifesto.
It's crazy because I've met people that have crazy. Like, I mean, I've met people that don't believe in airplanes, like religiously.
That's insane.
And like they're working and or have a job. Like I think like there's an extent of like. Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, what do you mean not believe in airplanes?
Didn't believe in airplanes.
I don't know.
Like their entire
anybody
existence
like
or the way they work?
He thought they're all government drones.
What?
Drones?
Yeah.
So like he thought people couldn't actually fly in them.
We were.
Because I've flown in a
I don't
plane
want
before
to.
and they're very real.
Yeah, I don't know how to say this without like.
Yeah, you're good.
It could be traced back to this person. Yeah, at an airport at night, or had a view of the takeoff pattern of an main airport, and there was lights leaving the runway, and he told me they were police drones that fly around the city and monitor people. And he said his buddy got pulled over by one or something like that.
So he believes in drones, but not planes.
Yeah, he thinks it's all a lie and that they're all government drones. Yeah.
Well, like, that's kind of crazy that you believe in drones and not planes, right?
I'm telling you,
Okay.
there's.
No, that's interesting.
I mean, I guess to each his own, but yeah, he didn't. But he thought all the planes that were up there just spraying chemtrails, like they didn't have people in them.
That's an
It's like,
interesting
man,
theory.
my dad's a pilot. I'm pretty sure planes are real. Oh man, not those, the big ones. I was like, all right, dude.
Hey Bert, real quick, look up Unabomber MK Ultra. I am pretty confident that he was like it's factual that he was one of the guys who was tested on in the program. Because what they would do is a lot of students, especially at like big universities like Harvard and things, they would those were the people that they would like recruit. They'd be like, "Hey, can you help us do this like experimentation?" But they didn't really know what they were getting into, and a lot of times it was by like professors or like doctors there, and then they would administer large amounts of LSD or just crazy drugs to these people just to see what they would do and try to mess with their brain. They used like music and they
Probably
did
use
some,
frequencies and stuff like
they
that
did
too.
some weird things. But yeah, okay, so yep, the Unabomber was a subject to the CIA psychedelic or psychological experiment known as MK Ultra. Crazy.
So was there a point like recently where MK Ultra was just a theory and not actually confirmed true?
No, I think
Or has
they
it
admitted
always
to
been?
it back in like the 80s or something.
Okay.
And it just doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. Because
Yeah,
it
that's-
seems like it would be a conspiracy theory, but no, that's,
But it's real, and
that's
nobody
real.
talks about it, which is even weird.
And if that's real, what else could be real?
Exactly. And what else could they still be doing today
Mm-hmm.
that we wouldn't know about?
Yeah.
It's crazy that they would have just admitted that in the 80s. Like that seems like
Yeah,
seems like along the lines of things that they hide. Like why didn't they keep that hidden and everything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Yeah. Probably there was just a lot of like social pressure, just like, hey, you need to admit to this,
Mhm.
or maybe they just wanted to distance themselves from it. Yeah, I mean it was a good thing that they admitted that.
They had to restore trust in the CIA, so they had to like say they purged it and got rid of this
But
old
that's
program.
that's actually another thing. JFK was very against the CIA.
Yeah, he was against a lot of things that were going up around him.
He was against the CIA. He was against Israel getting nuclear bombs,
Mm-hmm.
and he had a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
The thing about
Which is
go ahead.
which is why it's weird that which is why his assassination has so many theories, because of all the people that hated him.
Well, it would make sense. He had a lot of
Right.
powerful people who hated him.
Right.
So the fact that coincidentally he was just assassinated by some random
Mm-hmm.
kid
Yeah.
or some random guy,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
But like, I think so. Assassinations are really complex because as soon as someone gets killed, it means that anybody that they disagreed with is a potential killer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk gets killed instantly. All the atheists are the enemy, and like it's like
Liberals.
right. So it's like, why would you kill somebody if it's gonna obviously point back to you as his opponent if you just wait out 4 years and then you elect your own person? Like
Yeah.
that, I don't know. It seems like it's like an assassination is so appalling and so revolting that like it's like the breeding ground of, I don't know. Like it's just
Of
like
a
you
revolution.
instantly want to like
It
get a
it almost
finger.
like lights a fire.
right. It's just it's like a feeding ground of. I'm not saying like I do agree that there are things that are sketchy and to want to kill somebody, like you definitely have to be very motivated but like I doesn't surprise me that people would do it. Like it totally seems human nature, but like I don't know. Like it feels like if you were as big and as powerful as you say you are, you could find out better ways to do it than to shoot somebody on live television in front of the whole world.
Sure.
Make a huge deal about it and get all the world's attention versus buying them off, or like it seems like there's at some point some amount of money that you could pay. I don't know. These are just things that like that you should consider, you know. There is two ditches. Like I do agree. Like there are things that are weird. Like totally like anytime somebody gets killed, you want to know the big picture.
Oh,
But there are like yeah. I don't know.
That's some good considerations or some good.
Even with like
Thoughts?
Kirk and the Trump with the ear, and it's like how much of that was like, I mean, initially it's like, oh, that's crazy, and then you start thinking, well, that's a pretty big PR stunt, and then it's like, yeah, I mean, totally gets you thinking, but it's like, I don't know, what do you do with it?
Yeah. I know that it's like this would kind of address some of what you're talking about, like the re-election part of it. there are theories out there that like Lyndon B. Johnson, his vice president, who became president after him. So like, I think they were opposite parties. I'm pretty sure JFK had Lyndon B. Johnson as his vice president because they were different parties and they would appeal to different people. I'm pretty sure.
It used to like I kind of think be a thing, but I don't know if it lasted that long. You can look that up.
Oh, you're saying so they
Yeah,
could have
yeah,
both sides.
It
fact-
sounds right.
fact check me.
I think they definitely had different opinions on Vietnam, which I think
Vietnam was
Vietnam
very
is
important.
probably the most.
Look up if JFK and Lyndon B. Johnson
Or
or
the same
LBJ
party.
were different parties or the same.
I think Vietnam is the most compelling of all the arguments. I think killing him to keep America in Vietnam.
Right,
is
and
the
so
most-
that's why some people believe that LBJ was in on the assassination or that he was.
But like, couldn't you think that this dude would know that himself if he was so politically active that he would know that if I kill this man, then we're gonna stay in the war?
Okay, so they were the same party. They were both the Democratic Party.
Okay. But look if they had the same opinion on the Vietnam
No,
War.
they did not.
I'm pretty sure they're pretty different.
JFK was against Vietnam. LBJ was all in, bro. So yeah, many theories believe that there was a group of people that hated JFK and wanted us to stay in Vietnam because they were getting wealthy, and LBJ was kind of one of their puppets, and so they wanted JFK dead so that LBJ would be president, and then they could stay in the war and make money, kind of do whatever they want. Yeah.
Although another big thing was Kennedy was Catholic. That was a big deal back then.
Back then
yeah.
it was,
It was
yeah.
a very big deal. A lot of it was, I think, previously it was a very Protestant America, and a lot of Protestants and right wing were really, really mad that he was elected and he was Catholic, and they're afraid that he was gonna like make a bunch of crazy religion laws and stuff. And I remember hearing about it. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Like you don't even think about that nowadays,
No, not at all.
but that was like a big deal apparently.
Hmm.
Scroll down a bit, would you?
Yeah, what's that? LBJ's Americanization.
Johnson. Okay, so that's a little much. Signing National Security Action Memo, which called for the withdrawal of 1,000 personnel by the end of 1963, with the goal of total withdrawal by 1965. Historians debate if he would have actually followed through, but his private doubts were well documented. LBJ's persistence. Johnson felt a duty to continue the Kennedy program, but viewed the Vietnam as a mess. All right, thank you, man. He could easily quit. Wait, he couldn't easily quit. He initially affirmed JFK's withdrawal plan in NASAM 273, but soon shifted towards escalation as the situation in South Vietnam deteriorated. Vietnam was a weird war, too.
Vietnam was a very strange
Yeah.
war. Yeah. We talked about that some in our episode with Garrett.
All right, that kind of lowers my thought of that being a factor. But, I mean, you never know. I didn't live during then. It probably was some pretty crazy time.
Dude, I can't imagine living during that time.
I think that had been worse than now. Big time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the last president who's been assassinated. Can you imagine if, like, Trump, whenever he was assassinated, or, like, whenever he had the assassination attempt, like, if his head literally got blown off on live TV? Can you
Yeah.
imagine how much trauma you would have from that?
Or even just, like, you're going through the Cuban Missile Crisis, which was
So stressful.
Was he wasn't alive for that.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, Jamin wasn't. Yeah, no.
Not Jamin.
I think we talked about that a little bit with Garrett.
Not Garrett.
No?
Jason.
The
Craig
Cuban
Garrett.
Missile Crisis?
Was
No.
he alive he wasn't alive in the 60s.
No.
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 Sorry, Jason. Sorry,
Wow.
Jason.
He's
That's
the
all
oldest guest we've had on here, but not that old.
Anyway, I just remember him talking about how he thought the world was going to end, and that was Reagan.
Yeah, that was the Reagan time.
But to live through like Cuban Missile Crisis and the U.S. is literally in a hot war, I mean, that would be some crazy times. And then your president's head get blown off. I mean,
yeah, news really just gets you ramped up.
and
Yeah.
the protests were crazy. I think there's some in Chicago, like they shot up a bunch of college kids.
Really?
The government did, yeah.
Over
Yeah,
the
I looked
Vietnam
this up.
War? Or like
Yeah,
that's
it
where
was
the protests were
I'm
on?
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this happened. Look up Vietnam protests, college student shooting.
That's
or something.
crazy.
That is wild.
Like there was so much civil unrest, racial.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was, MLK time. Like, that was the...
Kent State shooting. This one here.
Oh, I've heard of this actually. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
So there were probably quite a few people back then that thought the world was gonna
And like this,
blow up.
yeah.
I would think so.
The Kent State shooting, Kent State massacre, were killing of 4 and wounding of 9 unarmed college students at the Ohio National Guard on the Kent State University campus in Kent, Ohio.
The National Guard soldiers fired about 67 rounds over 13 seconds, killing 4 students and wounding
Yeah,
9
and that's
others.
all in a protest. Can you imagine if that happened nowadays, where
Oh my
National Guard
goodness.
shot and killed 4 students?
Bro, there would be a civil war.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah. So that, I mean, and Chicago was like on fire. I mean, it was crazy time.
Yeah, the Chicago fires. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that was, I think, there was a lot going on, and to say that he got shot for a bigger reason makes sense, but it also makes sense that people were so strung up that someone would want to kill him.
Right.
So
That-
and both parties,
That everything was just so tense.
the fact that he got killed makes sense. Does not fit out of the time period. Like
Mhm.
it was a turbulent time, but the party, I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, because it was so tense, it would make sense if like one person just.
I mean,
decided
you
to
got
kill
a
him.
country of I don't know how many millions, and how many thousands of those are nut jobs, and how many thousands are on this side and this side, and
Yeah.
it's in Texas, which is hilarious.
And how many
Or
thousands of
very
them have
funny coincidence. So I mean, yeah, I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah, and I really don't know where I personally land on this theory, or what theory I endorse here. I just think it's very interesting.
Yeah. Well, you would also think that if this was a bigger plan to assassinate him, they could have done it in a more secretive way. Like if they would have done it through
Unless
a car
they
accident.
somehow wanted to make
or-
a statement.
And that could be true too. If they
Not,
wanted
not,
it.
not as much to like the population, but maybe these people wanted to make a statement
to the next.
to like future presidents or to other people
Yeah.
in power. Like, this is what happens when you betray us or when you work against us.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, did execute him in like probably the most humane way possible.
I guess if you make it messy enough, make it obvious enough to the other elites that this is what happens, and yet still have enough of a story you can get the masses to believe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Brett, what are your thoughts on this?
It's weird, but at the same time, I didn't realize how much was going on at this time. I'd never really looked into it. But with all the tensions and wars and whatnot all hanging in the balance of this,
Yeah.
and I don't know. He's the one. Where was the space race in this? Was that before? Or?
After. This is
after?
1963. We landed on the
Okay, yeah.
moon in 1969.
He would have made a speech.
Yeah, he got shot in 63. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much. I always thought like the hate for people was always like a recent thing. But going back to this, there seems like there's just so many different sides and wars and whatnot going on.
It does
The
give you
same
a,
now.
yeah, it does definitely give you like a perspective, just like, oh, like we're always told that like the world has never been more divided or America's never been more divided than it is today. It's like, no, bro, we literally had a civil war. We literally like this is real. Like, dude, news just gets us amped up.
Yeah, the world's always been. Yeah.
We're always fighting war somewhere else that we don't want to be in.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess that kind of naturally leads us into the next topic, 9/11.
Which
Jamin,
is-
what do you think about? Or actually, we should read the official story first.
Yeah, there we go.
2 planes hit the towers.
Right,
they
but
somehow mysteriously collapsed.
I'm kind of curious with the official story about like motives and like who these people were and all that. I honestly think AI overview might be the move. Just a summarization.
Yeah, this one's pretty easy to summarize.
Okay, Jamie, you want to run this?
I do not have my contacts in. I cannot.
That's
read
fine.
that.
That's fine. All right, the World Trade Center, the North Tower, at 8:46 a.m. American Airlines Flight 11 struck floors 93 to 99. Then World Trade Center, the second tower, the South Tower. This is like 15-20 minutes later. Another airplane struck floors 77 to 85. And 30 minutes later, the Pentagon was hit by an airplane, or an airplane ran into the Pentagon. And so, yeah, it was targeted attacks. In Pennsylvania, 30 minutes later, we'll scroll up. in Pennsylvania, 30 minutes after the Pentagon, another airplane crashed into an empty field after passengers and crew revolted against the hijackers. The intended target is believed to have been either the U.S. Capitol or the White House. Can we see like who the official narrative says that these people were? Okay, yeah. So, Al Qaeda. The attacks were planned by the international terrorist network led by Osama bin Laden and managed by the principal architect Khalid Shakia Mohammed. The hijackers, 15 of the 19 hijackers, were from Saudi Arabia, 2 from the United Arab Emirates, and 1 from Egypt, 1 from Lebanon. The motivations of Al Qaeda is the U.S. support of Israel, the presence of U.S. troops in Saudi Arabia, and sanctions against Iraq as the primary driver for these attacks. The attacks killed nearly 3,000 people from 90 different nations, and that includes nearly 3,000 deaths in New York City alone, 180 in the Pentagon, 40 in Pennsylvania, and 400 of the first responders were killed. And so following the attacks, the U.S. declared a war on terror, and leading to the invasion of Afghanistan to dismantle Al Qaeda and remove the Taliban regime. The later invasion led to Iraq. It also created the Department of Homeland Security. That's the official narrative.
So something that I've had someone, I was talking to someone about this a while back, and they were saying how they were able to find every single wallet for all the people on the planes, and they were saying how, and they were able to identify each person. How did their wallet stay intact after going through a plane and being on fire for who knows how long?
I know.
How are they able to find all those wallets in that, all the debris and everything? So that doesn't make sense.
That's the one that crashed in Pennsylvania. The one they found the wallets in.
Okay, so the one that, okay. I was just told this. I didn't look into this. I don't know all the facts on this, but I found that to be kind of weird how they were able to find all the wallets for everyone. And then have you guys heard the story on the dancing
dancing Jews?
Yeah, that's pretty weird too. That doesn't really make sense.
That is weird.
For those who don't know, basically, was it as the towers were coming down or after?
Google the dancing Jews. It will come up instantly. I mean, it was in New York City. I think
That's not the one of them all standing on the table, is it?
Oh, I've seen that one.
The GIF.
I don't. No. All
right.
This one was filmed with the Twin Towers in the background.
Brett, you want to read this?
Sure. The dancing Jews refers to both the 9/11 conspiracy theory and various Jewish cultural religious traditions.
No, the 9/11 conspiracy is what we want.
Okay. Where are we at? It's so hard to read from this angle. The theory claims that 5 Israeli men were celebrating the 9/11 attacks. These men were detained but cleared by the FBI, which they found. I can't read this. It's too much.
Had no prior knowledge of the attacks. This has been classified as
a baseless
lie used to fuel anti-Semitic tropes.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Blastrite. Farmers, know your equipment isn't just equipment, it's your livelihood. When rust, old paint, and wear starts taking over your tractors, trailers, grain trucks, or implements, Blastrite brings them back to life with professional sandblasting. We strip everything down to clean bare metal so your new paint and coatings actually last. Proper surface prep means less rust, longer life, and more seasons out of the equipment you depend on. Don't replace it before you have to, restore it. Contact Blastrite today to keep your operation looking sharp and running strong. You can call them at 260-273-6851 or email them at blastriteinfo@gmail.com.
So if you want...
Stockton, right?
If you out there want to sponsor Attic Hour Podcast, we will give you topic preferences.
Ooh.
Oh.
I like that.
That's a good idea. Yeah. You should do that, guys.
Not to be approved by us, but you can submit a topic and we will heavily consider it.
Yeah, Jamin, we could sponsor you.
Yeah.
Or like
Ford?
Or no, I was more thinking like Feet Finder.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Jamin's Feet Finder at shaman.com.
That was supposed to stay under the
Jamin'sFeetFinder.com.
All right.
for only $4.99 a month.
The best feet you've ever seen.
So yeah, back to 9/11.
Nice.
Brett, what do you think about 9/11? Do you agree with the official narrative, or do you think that there was something else going on?
There is not much at all that makes sense about 9/11 on multiple levels. For one, there's the guy who bought 9/11 and took out the weird insurance policy.
He
Right.
bought the towers.
Yes, and then took out the special insurance policy for terrorists right before they collapsed, or weeks
Right before the thing happened.
right before it happened. For one, there has never been another steel building like that has ever collapsed
In that way.
in that way before. If you look at it, it looks a lot like a controlled demolition. I think it's the Capital One Tower. If you look up the video of them taking it down recently, it looks almost identical to that. The way it kind of implodes and falls.
Mm.
Like, because if planes aren't built real heavily, and so if you'd run into something, generally the plane would just like collapse.
Well,
It's
also if you think about it, hitting like the top of a building, like the entire building shouldn't just like
Yeah.
all the way down.
If you cut the top of a tree off, the whole tree's not going to collapse.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole idea is that the fires or whatever chaos happened inside at the top kind of trickled down to the bottom, and then eventually the center got
it
weak and
happened
collapsed.
within like such a short amount of time.
Right. So that's what doesn't make sense. And there were people on site that claimed that they did hear explosions from inside the building right before it fell.
There has been a lot of silenced eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to get rid of eyewitnesses, is just when the building collapses on top of you. But
Wow.
That's
anyway,
No, I did hear that it's like one of the first responders, it was the fire department, the local fire department. There was a fireman who like went inside, and he after the first plane hit the first building, he like was running up the stairs, and he finally got to the floor where the plane had hit, or like one of the floors. And so he was calling another firefighter who was like down on the ground, like away from the building, and he was calling him, and so he was like, okay, yeah, I'm here at the floor. I see what's going on. There's some fire. I think we need to get a couple people up here. He didn't sound like he was flat out panicking. He sounded like it was bad, but it wasn't horrific. It wasn't like the entire building was going to collapse. But 30 seconds later, the entire building imploded. That's really strange.
Yeah.
Another weird thing to go along with that is they had been having construction on some elevator shafts by crews, but those elevator shafts have access to like this core of the building. So like they could have been taking out certain things and putting in charges or whatever to take it down when it needed to.
That's interesting. I did not know that.
That's a theory I've heard.
Yeah. That is pretty weird. So, was it Larry Silverstein? Is that his name?
I think so, yeah.
He just took out another entrance policy on another building. I forget which building it was. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I just saw that.
What was it? What building was that?
Like recently?
Yeah, like literally a couple
So everyone
weeks
was
ago.
making jokes like, "Oh, watch out,
Oh no!
it's coming down."
Oh no!
But I don't even know what building it was. But
I forget.
Yeah, we should probably know that.
Yeah,
could fact check that.
That's
yeah. Look that up, Bert.
Bert's over there scrolling Instagram. But he should be in the middle of a fast.
Larry Silverstein insurance policy recently.
Yo, I've never seen anybody spell Larry like that.
Wait, how do you spell it? I can't see.
1 R.
Oh. Probably a typo.
One of the craziest, or I guess we'll read this first. So, viral claims suggesting developer Larry Silverstein recently took out a new terrorism insurance policy on U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles. Though it's unverified and it's driven by social media speculation, this is according to AI, rather than news reports. And so, yeah. Okay. The U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles.
What are the betting markets that
What's
collapses?
that one betting app? Kowski or whatever it is?
Kaushi.
Kowski, yeah. Should go on there and check.
That's hilarious. No, dude, one of the craziest things, in my opinion, or one of the largest amounts of evidence, Building 7. You guys aware of this? Do you guys know about Building 7?
Did you just look that up?
He had it looked up
Was
earlier.
Building 7, was that the second building?
No, it was a third.
Building 7
That
was
was
the
the
third
one.
building.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're like a Building 1 and 2, those are the like Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple buildings in between, and then the 7th building in the row. So it's like there's a couple buildings in between the Twin Towers and this building, building number 7. It exploded.
Yeah.
Like
it
at the
came down.
same time.
randomly.
Just
No
randomly.
planes.
No plane hit the building.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And there was no debris from other buildings that came and hit that third one
No, it was literally like
at the same time. Collapsed.
or I don't know where it was in the timeline. I know it was like on the same
I
day.
think it was
Okay,
like
here,
an hour later. So
World Trade Center building or World Trade Center building 7 was a 47-story skyscraper in Lower Manhattan that collapsed on the same day at 5 p.m. So later in the day.
Okay.
So hours after the Twin Towers. The collapse, this is according to AI, was controlled by or was caused by uncontrolled long hour fires.
So I guess that could make sense.
From
Was
blocks
caused
away.
by uncontrolled hour-long fires
Yeah.
that
What
caused
caused-
structural failure.
What caused the fires?
The
But
two
another
buildings
thing
that
that's
just went down
interesting,
next to it.
this building was a secret CIA headquarters. Or not headquarters, but like a CIA
Scroll
base.
Because the original Twin Towers came down at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, and this
So
is
it'd
5
been-
this is 5 p.m.
Yeah. So there's a lot of time in between. But you would think that most of the damage that had been done would have been done. But if the fires were still spreading, then it could have spread to other buildings.
But
and
why did
caused-
it not
But-
get any of the other buildings? There were
Yeah.
buildings in between.
Oh yeah.
it's not like the Chicago fire where the whole place is on fire. It's just
Wasn't like the accounting for like $2 trillion lost in the Twin Towers or something?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of.
Like there's like account records for like I think it's like $2 trillion.
Of
Man.
some
No, like
recent-
it was like
I'm just
missing money, and this like the paperwork for the missing money was lost in the towers. I don't know. Definitely look that up.
That's
Just
interesting.
look up like $2 trillion missing in
9/11.
or counting because it wasn't actual dollar bills. It was like
Oh, just $2 trillion unaccounted for.
of transaction stuff. That
2.3.
The Department of Defense cannot track the $2.3 trillion in transactions. That's a
Man.
problem.
It's probably for the 12 tons of Kit Kat bars that just got stolen.
What?
Anybody
Did you
hear
hear
about
about that? Yeah.
no.
An entire truckload. How much money worth was it?
I don't know. Well, 12 tons of Kit Kat's worth got stolen in transit in Europe.
And they can't find the driver or the truck. They have no
Yeah,
idea where.
don't come to my house, bro. I love Kit Kats.
No, dude, the whole
My whole house is like
Social media.
overflowing with Kit Kat. Oh wait.
Oh.
the
Oh.
social media the social media responses are so funny because all like these huge companies are replying because Kit Kat made like an official poster saying like it's true, this is not an April Fool's, and we really want to know where the stuff is went. And like all these companies like comment like just got this random shipment of Kit Kat bar, like real companies like Ryanair had like a plane eating. That was so weird.
That's so funny.
That is really funny.
But every once in a while, you come across a Instagram comment section, and every single
It's
one
all
is just
businesses.
is just companies and
It's so funny,
That is really funny.
dude.
verified
Arby's.
accounts.
No wait, who's the
Wendy's?
Wendy's.
Is Wendy's beefing with the McDonald's CEO? I feel like it was
Oh,
Arby's. I think it was Arby's.
I just know Wendy's has a lot of
They were
online
like
presence.
they were being mouthy to like the CEO. It's like some intern is about to get
Dude,
fired.
I assume you guys.
Oh.
You guys have all seen the McDonald's CEO video, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it was like in response to that.
Yeah, that was
He
Wendy's.
filmed the second
I'm
one.
Pretty sure it was Wendy's.
Was it
I s-
Wendy's?
I saw a video about that. Yeah.
Filmed a second one, and the Wendy's admin or whoever's in charge of that. I mean, I don't know how you get approved for that.
Well, it's a group. It's not just one person. It's
right,
a bunch of
but
people.
they still have to get that approved. I mean, they're taking shots.
Yeah, I don't know.
So funny.
So funny.
So funny. One last theory about 9/11 is, I kind of like halfway believe this, but some people believe that the plane that hit the Pentagon was not a plane; it was a missile.
Mm.
There was no footage of the Pentagon and no like report on it, like on like the amount of destruction or anything for like years after.
Yeah, it took them a while to release everything.
Are you sure there wasn't like a clip?
Almost like it really had to be doctored.
Are you sure there wasn't like a security camera clip?
Hey, I'm gonna look on.
I'm gonna look on Reddit because that's where all the on X because that's where all the gore is.
X knows what's up.
No, I remember the one that crashed in Pennsylvania, which is just kind of insensitive. So I don't know if it's worth sharing. I know that there's like conspiracy that just got shot down. It wasn't actually like saved by the crew. Like they
Well,
just shot.
We
it
just
down.
shot it down.
Mhm.
It's also factual that actually that's an interesting.
Which those
That's
two
really
theories
interesting.
can't really coexist.
No, they can't.
Hmm.
They can't coexist. If 9/11 was
truly done by terrorists, it wouldn't make sense that they would be panicking enough to just shoot down a commercial airliner. If it was truly, if they were truly caught off guard and it was done by that, why would they shoot down a commercial airliner? I don't know.
Well, the reason for that is every single one of the hijackers was flagged in the airport, checking onto the planes.
Really?
The CIA had been following these people for like literally a year. They
crazy.
were on their watch list, but they let them pass. Almost like they allowed. This is like kind of my theory.
Well,
they allowed this thing
also
to
this is
happen.
pre 9/11, like where you can see the cockpit.
Yeah.
Like none of flight, like you could smoke on the plane. I mean, you can literally walk into the cockpit. Like this is like flying nowadays, and flying then is like completely different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the
Regulations.
reason we fly now is because of 9/11.
Right.
So
Even like security and everything.
so to say that you let someone onto a plane, like obviously they would have had to have been on a plane to get to the country, and if anything, like it is sus. That that is sus. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do know what you're
That's
saying.
a different frame of mind. Like
Right. I guess what I'm saying is we know for a fact that they had been watching these people.
But what, if they haven't done anything, what are you gonna not let them fly? Like, until a
Right.
bus drives into the White House, that's gonna sound really bad on paper. But like, are you not gonna let suspicious people ride on buses?
Right. But my the theory that you had. So like, if these people were all flagged, and the first three had struck, then like the first three had hit the two trade center or the two towers and then the Pentagon, and then these guys that we had flagged this morning, they're hijackers, they're terrorists, and so which is the other one that we flagged? Oh, it was this plane. Oh, it's that plane up there, and they shoot it down.
That makes sense because the towers they didn't know when they hit, but it wouldn't make sense that okay, we just got these two planes to fly into these two towers. Oh wait, this third one that was going to be our reserve, we don't need them anymore. Let's just shoot them down.
Right.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Why is it over Pennsylvania too? Like that's such a
I mean,
random spot.
if you're saying they shot it down, it's like in a rural area and nobody else gets hurt in collateral.
Yeah, true.
Right. So
But I mean, also there's a ton of open space in America, and if they took over the plane in Pennsylvania, like coincidence, not coincidence. I'm just glad it landed where it did,
Yeah.
not on somebody's house or something.
right. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But still,
No
I
kidding.
mean, you know.
So we're saying that if you believe the official narrative of 9/11, you should believe that the plane had been shot down, and if you believe,
I'm just saying
and
that
if
that's
you
kind of
believe-
an awkward side case
okay, yeah, it's a side
because,
case.
like, surely they could have crashed it into Capitol. Never mind. Like, I don't know. It just seems like, why do you just? I mean, unless like they needed like a reserve plane. Like, why would you, if you knew you had these planes pre-approved to hit these towers, why would you have a third plane in the air? Yeah, I don't know. Unless that was supposed to be the one that hit the Pentagon and like a missile. This is my whole spiel that got cut off in our audio. This
Was it supposed?
was like, this is like my brain loves to connect these dots. That
Yeah,
I'll
no,
probably like
the brain
absolutely
thing was really
unrelated.
interesting. I want to hear this spiel.
I kind of lost the train of thought. For people that don't
It-
know,
it
we
was-
mysteriously, as I like was debating like the Jews dancing on the street, our audio cut off.
That's kind
I
of.
didn't think of that.
I'm just saying.
That is a little bit weird.
They're controlling the
I
laptop.
will say I
we're
was
record-
defending the Jews. So
no.
somebody's gonna kill me for that. They're gonna kill me either way. So no.
No, but you were saying that like
No,
our
yeah.
brains, it's like conspiracy theories are like candy to our
It's
brains.
candy.
The
I mean,
trees.
it's pattern recognition. It's you watch movies, which are a tumble like movies like, oh, well, we could sell a big blockbuster if we made this rumor, and then oh, this one did really good. Let's make another movie like that, and then you feed like this kind of. It just seems recirculating and like like pattern recognition, like the joy of our brain. Like what I mean, if you're an atheist, like we evolved to recognize patterns, and it's like why racism is so bad. I'm just kidding. I have to cut that out. But like, yeah, it's just the conspiracy theories. Like that whole line, like there's absolutely nothing. Like I'm just shooting off my hip, and all of a sudden I can convince myself to believe it because it's like, well, it makes sense. But like I did no research on that. I just was sitting in this chair, and I came up with this theory that they had a third reserve plane and they hit the Pentagon with a missile and they shot down the plane because they didn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Just by sitting here and like connecting dots that come to my mind. I don't know. That's the caution of conspiracy theory, is like, how much do you want something to be true versus how much does it actually line up? Like if you sat down and did a little looking, did a little research, because I mean, we're in the information age. If you want to know something, just freaking look it up. But I mean, find a credible source, which is.
So do you think we're still in the information age?
Do I think we're still in the information
with AI?
age?
It seems like information's kind of
yeah,
to find true.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We're still in the information age. I mean, I would think AI is compounding that. AI is like generative AI is its own thing. So, pictures aside from the picture on that wall, like LLMs, like the stuff that you see on Google and Gemini, all those are doing is just skimming existing.
The internet.
It's not really. It's generating the fact that it's writing sentences that don't probably exist. But the information it's pulling, assuming that it's pulling true, is already existing information.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that actually makes information easier to find, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is a great conversation, and I love it. I think that we are next week. I think we're gonna record like a shorter bonus episode, kind of talking about like, kind of like recapping a little bit, talking about like truth and like what is truth and like conspiracy theories like in a vacuum and things.
Right.
So kind of in that vein. So for this episode, we should continue.
Yeah, but like again, like you don't want to suppress like curiosity, but you want to back up the things that you do. I feel like this with the moon landing. It's like why I feel so strongly about it. It's like a lot of the arguments I say, like they're like 2 Google searches away. Like Artemis 2, it's like, well, if we don't have the information to go back, like, well, we had Apollo 8. No, yeah. Oh, shoot, I'm going to forget this. Apollo 1 burned up, and then we had a couple unmanned. We had like 3 unmanned flights of the Saturn V. We had 1 unmanned, which was Artemis 1, and then we had Apollo 8, Apollo 9, Apollo 10, which all flew around the moon before we sent Apollo 11. And Apollo 10 like got like 9 miles off the surface. We're doing that in like 1. It's like we are like, there's just like things like look up a little bit of history. It's like most of the stuff is written down. Sure. It's just like, but
yeah,
like do some research, learn some stuff before you start
look
talking.
some things like the whole Buzz like punching the reporter. I mean, he like there's a lot like the dude was like harassing him. He like pushed him in. The reporter like pushed Buzz into like a corner.
Oh really?
Yeah, and he had like, it was not what it seems to be. And then eventually Buzz like was telling him like, get away from me. And the dude was like following him and saying, you didn't land in the room. And he just turns around and just bah, and like slams the dude. It's like, go Buzz. Like that's awesome. But like, I don't know.
So
just
context.
Get some context. Yeah. I mean, and 9/11's weird. I will agree. Like allegedly the CEO that never showed up on work. Like, I don't know what's up with that. I honestly haven't researched 9/11 that much. But
Yeah.
just all the memes.
9/11 has almost gotten to the point where it's no longer a conspiracy
It's
theory.
like immortalized. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's like no longer a conspiracy
It's such a keystone in modern politics too. It's just like, if that is a conspiracy, like that is big. Like,
well, it's crazy that like, so 9/11 was 25 years ago, not that long ago, and yet already nobody really knows what happened.
Yeah.
That's how fast they can cover things up and how they can like change the narrative and just like or put different narratives out there. And yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, am I saying that all these things are unfounded? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying before you like go post a Reddit thread or something saying it's the truth, like, look up both sides. I mean, yeah, don't follow that pattern recognition in your brain. Like, look some facts up and back. That's pretty much my take on conspiracy theories. Like, if you can come to me and say like, I've looked this up, I've seen both sides, this is what and maybe that's, yeah, I don't know. Then it's like, yeah, okay, makes sense. Like your Atlantis, it's like, yeah, I mean that sounds pretty true or sounds pretty decent, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a good spiel.
So, as the critic, I think that was what I'm supposed to be framed for in this. I think that'll be my spiel. Now we can talk about, I don't know, aliens or whatever else we want to talk about.
Well, Jamin really wants to talk about the elite class.
Oh boy, the elite. So what do you think the elite are? I want to ask you that first.
Dude, I really don't know what I believe in this. I honestly don't.
I don't either. I thought I did like half a year ago. Now I don't really know anymore because there's so
Like a
there's so
secret
many.
society that rules the world.
Yeah, like the Illuminati,
The
elite,
Illuminati.
the 13
Bloodlines.
families,
Was it
whatever.
Masons or
Freemasons.
all the logos and everything. There's just more and more that's there, but it's also not there at the same time. You know,
What if they're hiding it?
What if they're all the
Yeah.
same thing?
what if they're all one? But yeah,
What if they're all together?
could be. Yeah, I don't know. I think. Shoot, I don't know.
Like in so many conspiracy theories, we always say they.
Because we assume there's something else controlling everything, which it would make sense that there would be. But because like we have the president, right? And for the longest time we assumed it stops there, and it could, but we don't know.
Deep state.
Yeah, deep state. So is there people above Trump that have more power than him? I think so. As far as who it is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to start naming names because
Right. It's not necessarily that. It's just I don't know. Like, do you believe that there is a group of people that have an insane amount of power that essentially, like, if not control, but influence nearly everything that happens?
I think that would make sense, especially if you consider the like that chart where it funnels down all the companies and all like. If that's true, that chart, and all these companies are owned by all these other companies, and it all comes up to the very top, then that would make sense that they're able to push their own narrative and ideas and stuff. So I guess looking at it from the worldview of Satan rules the world. He's got the most influence right now. So it would make sense that the higher ups would be evil, and that they would take control and be in the dark and be in the shadows. And if you're doing evil like that, you don't want to be in the light. So yeah, I don't know.
I would say there's a lot of people there's definitely people above Trump or that we don't really know about that have a lot of money, a lot of influence, that control a lot
of influence on the money.
Yeah, a lot of that control a lot of things. But I could also see it being an excuse made up by the not so well off people who want more of an excuse for why their life sucks.
Cope.
Victim mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Makes
of
sense.
victim mentality, and people just want to not be their fault that they're doing so bad, that things have not gone their way, that they still live in a trailer somewhere, that their life has been in their eyes not successful, and they're just barely scraping by.
Yeah. Look for someone else to blame. Who do I blame? Oh, I'll blame the most rich and powerful people.
Yeah. Right.
A secret society.
The ones seen and the ones unseen. No, I mean, yeah, the Bible verse of like, what's rage against flesh and blood, but against principalities, and
Principalities, powers
Oh,
of darkness.
rulers in high places.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, better look that one up. That's kind of one you don't want to mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Bert.
Hey, Bartholomew. What is that from? Ephesians? It's from like
Ephesians sounds right.
I think it's from
Paul.
Ephesians.
Paul wrote it.
I think it's in
Principalities.
the armor. It's in the armor chapter about principalities or rulers in high places or evil in high places or something.
Principalities and powers.
It'll come up.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Ephesians 6:12. Click on.
Dude, I
click
used
on-
to have this
video.
memorized.
We
for
need
so
we need to
long.
see the whole verse. No, go to the all.
Go to images.
Brother.
Bert is tripping out today.
There's not 16 chapters in Ephesians, bro.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
my goodness.
For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. So I guess heavenly places, which is a little different than, well, maybe not. I don't know.
It's referring to more demons
Yeah,
of some way,
personally,
shape, or form.
I consider that to be like talking about demons or like Nephilim.
Yeah.
Or-
And even the bigger point of that is that you don't hate the people. I think that's the biggest takeaway from that verse is like, you don't, maybe there's a lot of people we don't agree with, but it's like they're not really your enemy, I think.
right.
So take the angels in part. I know that's kind of controversial, but I think the solid takeaway from that is like people aren't your enemy. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting.
So would you call these people, if you believe, like, so do you think like I mean, like we know that like Freemasons exist, like, and they have before. We know that like the Bilderberg group, or there are secret societies,
Right.
and like there
They
there
do
are
exist.
elite clubs. What's the one that in like Hollywood or something that does like something in like a does like a celebration every year in like a canyon or something? It's like super satanic. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the Burning Man.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're
Hey,
talking
Bert,
about?
look that up. The Burning Man ritual or celebration or something.
Cult.
That is pretty weird.
Yeah, they're like those things are real, but it's like how much power, how much influence do they have?
Yeah. Well, actually, this Burning Man thing, the very last one they had, it was like washed away by this like storm.
I know.
Like they were in the middle of it, and it was terrible.
Okay, so the Burning Man ritual is the climax of the annual week-long event in Nevada's Black Rock Desert, where a large wooden, essentially an idol, is burned to symbolize renewal, release, and community. The people who go to these things are very famous people.
And very wealthy.
I mean, it's a lot of Hollywood people.
Yeah. I've heard someone say that Burning Man is basically, if you sum it up, it's basically rich people cosplaying as poor people, while also combining that with, I guess, idol worship.
Nearly like every single kind of sin.
Yeah, and lots of drugs.
Tons of drugs.
Lots
Sex.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vacation from planet Earth. Oh boy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of well-known people there.
Yeah.
But would do you think that it's like another secret society talked about is like the Illuminati? That's often so like my take on the Illuminati, for example. I've done research on this because a lot of people talk about the Illuminati. I think that the Illuminati no longer exists, but it serves as an umbrella term for people who believe in like a group of elites that rule, or like just secret societies in general. Illuminati is like a coverall or like
Yeah,
a
the
umbrella
general.
term people use to refer to those parties, those societies, those groups of people. But
Yeah.
the Illuminati itself died out in the 1800s.
Yeah,
Though
I
it
believe
did
that.
cause the French Revolution.
Oh really?
Yep.
That's some crazy stuff in there.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
Talk about
this
some-
is a quick sidebar.
talk about some violent people.
Yeah, that was a
Holy,
crazy
holy
thing,
French.
dude. French. are
Excuse my
crazy.
French.
Excuse my French.
Pardon my French. Yeah. One of
How-
these. One
yeah,
of these.
I'm actually
elites-
curious on that. How did they do that?
The Illuminati. It was started by this one guy. I forget his name. He was from Germany. He was a Freemason. He was pretty young in the university, but he became a Freemason and he loved it. He was eating it up. He went to school and like learned a lot about like mythology and like cults and a lot of like ancient history and things, and found an extreme he had a fascination with that, and so he kind of got into more of those things. And he eventually decided to create his own group inside of the Freemason party. So like in the Freemason clubs, he would find people with like similar interests to him, or get some of his friends and like recruit them to like a secret society, the Illuminati. The Illuminati it's the same thing as Freemasons. How it has like 3 tiers, and each tier you get to, or like each level that you like reach they give you like more information, or like more secret information. I mean, that's the appeal. The top tier of people know
Everything.
all the secrets. And so the Illuminati is set up the exact same way, but the Illuminati is much more intense. It's much more focused on like the occults and like ancient history and like mythology and just crazy things. And so this guy, he wanted to recruit the Freemasons that thought like he did, even more secretive. Like I think it was near a death penalty, like if you ratted on him. But he eventually recruited like 3,000 Freemasons, and together like he was big enough to finally make a split, and so he split from Freemasons and the Illuminati. But he mostly targeted rich and powerful people. So he had a lot of barons, a lot of dukes, a lot of archdukes.
In it, like targeted like against them, or like in his
No.
cult?
Those were the people who were
Oh, I
allowed
see.
to join.
I see.
Yeah, and so it was very much an elite society, very secretive, and then that's the draw of it, right? You want to be in the exclusive group, and so yeah, that existed for like 10, 15 years. Then the number two at one point, the number two in command, he left them and kind of like told people about them, which is a big no-no. But essentially that led to like the persecution of the Illuminati. And so they were persecuted for a while. And like I think some died. I guess I should say the leader, everybody had secret identities. The leader's secret identity was Brother Spartacus. But officially it died out in like 1802 whenever Brother Spartacus died. But it was very prominent in France, and there some of like the more powerful people, some of like the dukes and people, like there are some strange ties to the French Revolution, which happened in like the 1790s. Very interesting. Actually, this is just interesting, but the founding of the Illuminati was 1776.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, but
Wait a
the
minute.
official story is that they died out in the 1800s, but some people think that they actually just went underground and they still exist today.
May
But
1st,
personally, I don't believe so.
1976.
So do you think it could have been a rebrand where like
I mean, could be.
Yeah.
Like the whole like purpose of the Illuminati was it was supposed to be a secret society, secret identities, secret. So it would make
So-
sense if nobody heard of them for.
what I'm
long
confused
time.
about? What was the Illuminati's point? Like if they were so secret,
Oh, they wanted to control the world through.
the rich and powerful.
They wanted to like get the rich and powerful together to kind of one world government essentially, control the world
Okay.
through money, through power, or like get the powerful people and like kind of control them as puppets, like because you buy them out.
So kind of the same theory as today with
Oh, very
Mossad
similar.
and
Very similar.
Epstein and everything. Okay.
Yeah, Epstein.
Give them all one direction under.
Yeah. Then it could have been like blackmail or something back then too, where
Oh, it could have been. Yeah.
something like that. So what do you think about the pyramid on the dollar bill with the all-seeing eye?
Bro.
Do you know much about that?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, isn't that like pretty like openly?
I think that's just,
It is.
it's a Freemason symbol.
Yeah, it is.
It's,
It's
just
not.
a classic Freemason symbol.
Yeah. I just didn't know, like, the whole all-seeing eye thing is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen all the pictures with celebrities where every single one of them has, it's either the left or right eye, obviously, it's a black eye. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, every single one of them. You can go through pictures. They all get these black eyes. And then if you look at a lot of cover albums on a lot of artists, like music or movies or whatever, they all do this thing where they cover one eye or they do this right here.
What?
And look it up. I've seen lots of clips about it.
It's just a celebrity with like a little bruised black eye.
No, I gotta show you. I'll show you guys some clips after this episode. But
High number of politicians, celebrities, and influential figures have appeared in public with similar unexplained black eyes
Often on the left side.
as a form of initiation or ritual, often linked to elite societies like the Illuminati.
yeah, like the all-seeing eyes.
Oh, these are literally black eyes. I thought you meant they like put black contacts in.
Oh no.
Okay. Oh, okay, that makes so much more sense.
No, like Elon Musk, he had this really big black eye. This was not too long ago, maybe a year or two
I
ago.
have definitely seen him with the black eye.
And he claims that his nephew punched him in the face and gave him a black eye, but that just doesn't really happen, you know. Like, how do you get a black eye from your nephew, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Look up music artists and actors covering one eye for album covers or something
The
like that.
Freemason Society is very interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff around it.
Well, just because, like, I mean, it was very real, and many of the founding fathers were Freemasons, but
Yeah.
it was also at the same time, at that time, it was just like a social thing you did just because, like,
Right.
Fetty Wap.
like the Freemason Society is kind of where, like, the, that's where, like, the open-minded people would go to, like, discuss, like, open-minded ideas. And so, like, that's kind of where, like, that's kind of where the birthplace of America happened. Just kind of like the ideas of like liberty and like separation from church and state and all that. That was often discussed. That was a common topic in Freemason clubs and Freemason circles in England. And eventually that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Isaac, can you go to pictures?
Could this reference the Illuminati?
Yeah, what are you talking
Actually, the internet's been holding up pretty good.
about?
yeah.
Yes.
Is a central pillar of Illuminati conspiracy theory. Yes, covering one eye is a central pillar of the Illuminati conspiracy theories. In these circles, the gesture is seen as a secret in plain sight symbol of allegiance to hidden global elite.
The all-seeing eye.
Dun, dun, dun.
The dollar bill is honestly just like really cool.
It is. It's so freaking cool.
I love it.
And all like the authentication and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool.
Like there's so many just like symbols and just
Oh,
like
it's
crazy
so
things.
cool.
Oh,
And
it's,
how it's like not paper
totally awesome.
and I don't know, it's so cool.
dude, I love it. Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is kind of in a similar vein, but somebody who is very rich and very powerful, and in my opinion, rather notorious, Bill Gates.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
here we go.
Brett, what are your thoughts on Bill Gates?
He
We like that guy.
He has a lot of unique ways of, like, if videos will randomly come up about him talking about something and how he plans to thin humanity through this weird way, or how we have too many people on Earth, and so I don't know, he just, everything I see about him is always about him using something else to try to thin down the population. Whether there's
dude,
so many
he is literally real life Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I see where he's coming from, where he thinks that he wants to cut the world's population in half because it would, in his mind, increase the quality of life lived by the half of people that survive.
Which might be true.
Mm.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, that is probably true,
Right.
but that
But it's
does not
not.
justify
No,
the
right.
means.
Yeah.
But there's so much, like, those people provide too, like, and humans do the best when they're pushed and they need something. That's when we're going to come up with something that's going to help us the most.
Yeah, Bill, why can't you be one of the ones who die?
Yeah. Well, because what was the original way he wanted to decrease the population? Wasn't it through mosquitoes, or am I thinking incorrectly?
I mean, I think he's tried so many different things.
I heard it
I
was-
think of like food, chemtrails,
Vaccines.
vaccines.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's part of the ticks this summer that have been popping up.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about that? The ticks?
No.
There's a big thing. They're finding these. I guess you can talk about it too. You probably know more, but they're finding like what boxes of ticks, which I think means clusters of ticks.
I don't
in
know.
fields, something like that. But they're finding lots of ticks.
Okay, don't type that in.
Thank you. All right. And then
So-
apparently there's a vaccine coming out too. But yeah, Brett, I'll let you talk more about that.
Apparently, farmers have been finding boxes of ticks in their fields at certain spots. I'm not sure exactly what box means in this scenario, but anyway, Pfizer's coming out with a new vaccine or treatment, like cure for Lyme's disease next summer. And this is supposed to be one of the worst summers ever for ticks. And I also saw a video a couple months ago how, I think it was Bill Gates talking to somebody about how they're coming, this new tick has a disease where it makes so you can't eat real meat. And
I
it's
saw
also
that.
Lyme's disease. Something with the Lyme's disease too. I don't remember exactly what they were saying. But anyway, they were saying that their fake meat that their Bill Gates is funding and making, you won't be allergic to that and you can eat that just fine. I was like, oh boy, what are we getting into now?
So the theory is that these ticks are like what, created in a lab or like planted in order to spread this Lyme's disease, so that you are forced to get and then they'll put significant pressure, like they did with COVID, on the Lyme's disease vaccine, which would enable you to eat only McDonald's.
Only McDonald's.
I
is
don't know,
crazy.
something along those lines.
So I wouldn't say they're being engineered. I would say they're just being, because they're not engineered to spread Lyme disease, right? That's just what they do.
So you don't think these ticks are like,
Altered.
The theory,
or just like being spread intentionally?
I was
Like being
thinking they were
planted
just
in different
being
fields?
created, like they're making a whole bunch of them, not like engineered, but like, what do you call it? Like mating, or
Like
breeding.
breeding. There we go. That's what I was looking for. They're breeding them into large amounts.
Putting them in boxes and throwing them out in the middle of the fields. to
Well,
spread 'em?
so I saw
free.
a comment section. They're saying that boxes of ticks means like a cluster of ticks, like large amounts.
Oh.
So like it'd be like they're yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm not I pictured like a FedEx box or something, and they're like throwing them out in the middle of fields, and then they just kind of cut loose. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that means.
Ticks can't fly, right? They just crawl.
they just crawl. They just kind of pick up on deer and whatnot.
They
That's-
Spread
get
around.
on the leaves and fall down on you.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because I have a friend who believes wholeheartedly that McDonald's meat is like there a small percentage of it is human.
There's a lot of theories going on.
And
with
they're
that.
like,
Yeah.
something's.
And so
going on
maybe
with
like Bill Gates is, like wanting us to eat human or something. I don't know.
I think I heard that it just makes you like you can't eat naturally grown meat. You have to eat lab grown meat, is what I've heard, or that's
Yeah,
the
so
theory I
McDonald's.
saw. So yeah, McDonald's basically.
Yeah,
whatever they mix
McDonald's
in
CEO knows what's up. He won't even eat his own burger.
Apple,
Products.
There's a lot of CEOs
Product.
who won't use their own products. It's creepy.
It is crazy.
I actually think Apple's like. Look this up. Apple like paying if data not scrubbed off servers. That's a lot of. You're getting your words per minute in here. Pays if information on servers, not scrubbed.
Wait, what? Define that to.
Let me see
Us
if this
stupid people.
Apple is offering to pay security researchers up to $1 million. No, I know about that. Apple pay hackers money if they can break into their stuff.
Oh, that's
yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
There's like different tiers, like if you accidentally do it, if you kind of actually do it.
Oh,
Like,
it
there's
makes
different-
sense.
Yeah. No, okay, never mind. I'll have to find the video. I won't spread this. No, it's just they made the point of like Apple's a tech company and Google and Meta are ad companies. And so they're just kind of in different games. Like the reason why like Apple Intelligence is like not generative, it's just rewrites, and the emoji is like they do everything's like below grade, whereas like Gemini and everything's like super good. Like that, just Google and Meta, their whole business is on collect your user data, sell it to ad companies. Where Apple's kind of a tech company where it's make good product. I mean, and obviously they want to know, data is demographic and all that stuff's crazy, but they're just a different business model. Like I don't think Apple gets in trouble for not making backdoors to government. I'm fairly sure that still stands. Like,
Yeah, they
actually-
wouldn't open some people's
Yeah,
phones.
like they tried to like force Apple to open some dude's phone, and they're like, we wouldn't, and then eventually they got like Israeli hackers to hack the phone.
Actually, so
Yeah.
you're saying
Yeah,
that
sure.
Apple is actually a cool organization?
Compared to Google, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously anything big tech is kind of weird, but
Yeah.
But
Anything big.
I
organization.
think that Google's, and I don't know,
Does it
Google's Google. I don't know.
does it really matter though if you have a Meta app or a Google app on your phone? You probably
No,
aren't
it's your-
tracked anymore.
You're
It's too late.
getting if you have a smartphone and you want to do any type of social media, you're cooked. I mean, your privacy
I think
is
just
so gone.
I think you just have a smartphone. You're cooked.
I feel like you could probably.
I mean, don't they just track whatever you do
Yeah.
anyway?
Well, like
I think if you were really smart about it, you could have a smartphone, and I think there's like different calibers. I think like all the ads and targeted ads. I think you could own a phone and get away from most of that.
That's fair.
But I think you'd have to be way more intentional than you realize.
Like they can track credit card numbers and everything too that you bought the phone
Yeah.
with if they really want
Like
to.
there is, as soon as you own a phone. Again, this is speculative, so I'm kind of going against my thing. But I think this is pretty safe to say that like there's like base things they track. Like they're probably gonna know where the phone's at. I mean, they got to get cellular. I mean, there's like base things, but a lot of like your search history, key types, and who all that sends to. I think that you could reduce a lot if you actually paid attention. But yeah, I don't know. Research Apple, not you, but on your own time, you listener. I don't know. Look all that stuff up and see where you're giving away your private data. Nothing's free.
Yeah,
Thanks for
another AI episode sometime would be fun.
Yeah. I think we could probably prepare more for it than we did in the last one.
Yeah, the last one
Yeah.
was like what, or episode 3
Or just a
something?
tech. Yeah. What's our time? Are we getting ready for an outro?
Yeah, we're
I think that
wrap it
if
up.
we haven't touched enough, but modern tech, the tech era, the tech age, be an interesting topic.
that would be a good topic.
You wanna hear something about that? Drop an emoji or something in the.
Yeah, or just stay tuned.
Comments.
It'll come out eventually.
Yeah,
We're gonna do
eventually.
these forever, man.
Comment what you want to learn about.
We're gonna do these until I get facial hair.
You're gonna do this till you're 90.
Yeah, doesn't Deadpool say that?
Deadpool reference. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for listening.
Bye.